Good evening. The coaching dramas at Alberton have taken a huge turn this afternoon, with Matthew Primus quitting the club.
As recently as last night, Primus was vowing to keep his job. But Port's board ran out of patience after the humiliating loss to the Giants, with the club poised to conduct a soul-searching review of its operations after 5 miserable seasons without finals football.
Chief Executive Keith Thomas now left to defend a club in turmoil.
There's no crisis. It will go on, and it'll go on in great shape.
From a club that has now axed 2 coaches in 3 seasons.
Yeah, it's been an honour. Us three, thanks. And
that's 2 coaches now in 3 years. When you say remorse, it's got to be more than that, surely. You've got to do something about it.
The tragic death of young Port Adelaide AFL player John McCarthy.
It's also terribly sad for John's many friends and also for his teammates.
But this is Vegas, and this was an end-of-season footy trip.
How about next year, Damo? Do you see anything positive for them in terms of going up the ladder?
No, I don't. As much as that 3 wins in a row sort of early in the season looked okay, I reckon the last 12 look really bad. I'm saying they're down again.
As the chairman of the Port Adelaide Football Club, it gives me enormous pleasure to be able to introduce you today to the new look Port Adelaide Football Coaching Group. On my right is Ken Hinkley.
Right from the start, right from the very start, when I come to the club, we wanted to get somewhere. We wanted to take something. Right? That's what you wanted. Now you've got it staring at you. You've got it looking right you in the eye right now. We talked about it. We worked our way through it. We prepared you for the game. We got you right. We give you every chance to run this game out. Now you've got to give it back to us. You've got to want to give it back to everyone standing around this group now. You've got to want to take this thing and really...
A history success here. We look forward to now growing on that and improving from there and going forward.
And final message to fans in terms of expectations for next year?
Oh no, look, we're going to go into the pre-season, we're going to work our butts off, and we're going to give everything we've got, and we're going to improve the football club, and we're going to make sure that this football club has a direction to go, and it's going to be some patience, but we're going to have a direction to go, and we're going to get there.
Ken, welcome aboard. It's a pleasure to have you part of the Port Adelaide Football Club.
Thank you very much.
After spending a year umming and ahhing over staying at Alberton Oval, now Travis Boak is captain of Port Adelaide.
It's a great honour to be captain of Port Adelaide Football Club.
You know what will happen though? We'll try some things during this season. Some things that might not come off. I can't guarantee anything about what will happen as far as will it turn to gold, will it not? Will it work? I don't know. It takes courage, takes a will to win, and a never say die attitude. That's Port Adelaide. That's what we'll give for the whole season. So that's my expectation.
They would have hoped for this, but never in your wildest dreams would you have thought Port Adelaide would come to the G in round 1 and absolutely obliterate the home team Melbourne by 79 points.
What an outstanding win. This is unbelievable.
They came from 41 points down, Port Adelaide. If you didn't believe before, you've got to believe now.
Kane's got the ball and he's 250.
This after his man slipped over. Takes Tarlinger on again. Ben Burlow closing. Monfries has kicked the goal kick. Has gone out of bounds on the full, and what a historic victory. How about that, boys?
The handball over the top was called. The give and go back to Westhoff from Lobe. Forced to do it on the left, and he did it with great style.
Moment for Collingwood, who came into this game red hot.
I feel like our season's been a pretty positive season, but we know that we have to keep going and we have to keep getting better, and that's what we're going to do. We're not going to sit back and just enjoy the fact that we had a pretty good turnaround as our football club.
Is there another team out there that's as exciting to watch in full flight than the Power?
A man who was instrumental in some of those passages of play we referred to, Robbie Gray, not just elevated himself into the best at Port Adelaide, but the best amongst the competition. It was an extraordinary, I felt, rise, because we always knew he had ability, but not this high-end ability.
Probably an interesting result Monday night, because he was clearly the best player in the competition this year.
Snapped. But now Meads away. Everything falling into place. Mead, the beneficiary, running down towards the 50. Lines up. Vacant goal square. How about this? This is breathtaking.
Who's been the real hero? Is it the players? Is it the coach? Is it Koshy?
It's everybody. Everybody. All the staff, players, all the coaches, everyone. All the supporters.
They're lined up across the back of the square, the Port Adelaide players. They're just going to sprint through the middle of the ground. Hawthorn have got to try and win it.
It'll be a big kick. Here comes Monfries. Monfries and Lake. Lake and Monfries. 25 seconds to go. 5 seconds. 2 seconds.
I thought he was going to play over the ball.
Hawthorn has made the grand final.
We played that incredible preliminary final against Hawthorn. We were very proud of it. It was a great game. We felt as if we'd made great strides in 2014.
They're going to have that expectation. Everyone thinks they're going to be in the grand final. They've got the most talented young list. They're super fit. They almost went in the grand final last year.
Ken Hinkley's changed the way football's going to be played.
Recover. That's the important message we're coming out of the game. Because next week's just as tough. And you should look forward to that.
Port Adelaide at home tonight in front of 50,000.
You've got to be insanely driven to make sure that whatever you do tonight, there's an intensity about it that you've never gone to yet.
And misses anyway. Massive challenges ahead for Port Adelaide. They're one of the high fancies going into the season. They've got real issues.
And Travis Boak having a chat to the boys. They've got the season back 5-5, but he's telling them there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of work coming up.
Fifth in your first year, third in your second year, disappointing season last year, ninth. What's in store for 2016?
Yeah, obviously we'd hope to jump back up the ladder a little bit and improve from where we were in 2004.
Start with Charlie Dixon tonight, Jim, the new Port Adelaide player. His behavioural concerns have moved with him to that new club in Port Adelaide.
It is a tale of two clubs in one city. Port Adelaide is recovering after the Crows humiliated them in one of the biggest winning margins of a showdown.
Have you discarded your Port Adelaide doona yet? You put it on the wagon last week.
No.
How are you situated now?
They're going to have to sort their defence out.
We've got a rift.
Cannot be that disorganised.
We've got a rift, haven't we?
Ken Hinkley took over a side that had a really young list. He made them, their run from defence was just fantastic. Ball movement and slick and good, and they had a good forward line that moved up towards the ball. I can't see any of that at the moment. They're flat as a tack.
Yeah, no, it's a disappointing season. We're not happy with our performance over the course of 22 games. You start out at the start of the year wanting to play finals. We obviously haven't got near that. We've never give ourselves a chance really through the year. We were what we were. I always say you end up where you probably should more often than not, 22 games to figure out what you are. And for us, we are that inconsistent model.
He's a hard man to stop. He's going for it. The young man knows no other way. Just loaded it up with both barrels. Pow, pepper.
Deliberate. And no players there. Ball thrown in. There's still time, boys. There's still time. The ball's taken by Robbie Gray. 49 metres out. Goes towards goal. And it's home. It's home. He kicked it. You little bacon, gentlemen. They've got it. They'll go to the umpire upstairs, though, but I reckon they've done it with 7 seconds remaining. Listen to the crowd.
There's a massive story brewing at Alberton with news Gold Coast has made a big offer to Ken Hinkley.
Port then hit back and said no, he's contracted here at Alberton until the end of next year in 2018, and that they did not want him to come out of that contract.
Ryder, not quite the mark. Are we going to extra time? Yes, we are. Set him up again. Extra extra time. Shuey taken high by Polak. Free kick. Shuey kicks after the siren in extra time to send the West Coast Eagles on in season 2017. He's kicked the goal. The Eagles have won.
Moving again here. Good tackle, pressure from Need. He's ready in the pocket. Here we go for 5 in a quarter. Robbie! Let him entertain you! And it goes Adelaide's way, but they're ready. Howard pumps it in. They've got the outnumber. They all crash down. Flashpoint. Stevie Modloff. What a time! He is floating on air now. Showdown 44 is over. And what a game!
Yeah, I was sick of 0-5, and the team was sick of 0-5. It was a bit too silly, wasn't it, by me? But that's the emotion of this game sometimes, and you know, you trust them and you believe in them, and you want them to do well. That's all I care about, and they tried bloody hard every week.
On the up Pitter, good to have him back. Dixon and Rams, good way to finish. Yep. Port make a statement tonight. They beat the Premier.
Port Adelaide are certainly starting to build in 2018. A big win against the Bulldogs following a very big win against the Tigers.
You know, in this footy season, there's going to be some changes still, I reckon. There's going to be some ups and downs.
Lloydie, what is it with the power? Are they not performing at the level they should be? Or is it that the talent we thought they all had on their list is actually overrated?
Finished 10th. They wouldn't be happy with that. Ken has been good enough to join us. Thanks for your time, Ken.
We had a great start and a really poor finish to a season. Never any danger, was there? I told you didn't have to pick your bag up. Welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
How is it? You a bit nervous?
Yeah, it's still coming like terms with it, but yeah, it's like Ken moves. Yeah.
Robbo's view was you didn't do terribly much wrong, maybe just not quite enough right in the last quarter.
307 disposals, beaten by more than 200 against the Roos.
They need to take a hard look at themselves. It was a player issue that they looked like they didn't want to be there, they didn't want to apply any pressure, and North Melbourne were far too hungry and too hard around the footy.
How are we now at round 22 and still we're seeing such a gap in their performances?
Yeah, I'm not sure anyone can answer that. I'm not sure. They don't know themselves why they've been so inconsistent.
Good evening, Port Adelaide coach Ken Hinkley is making no apologies to his hard stance at selection in the wake of dropping prize recruit Scott Lycett this week. The Premiership ruckman crossed to Alberton on a 5-year deal this season and joins Paddy Ryder, Justin Westhoff, Sam Powell-Pepper and Charlie Dixon among the big names to have been dumped this season.
At the start of the year, we set out to play finals. That's what we started to do. We failed to do that, so that does leave you a little bit hollow.
As we all know, Port Adelaide is on the verge of a pretty significant year in 2020.
We commence tomorrow night on government advice that putting on a game sits within the newly established protocols and guidelines announced by the Prime Minister this morning.
And we have great hopes for the 2020 season.
Hey, Kenny hasn't shied away from setting some pretty lofty goals. He sort of said to the footy world, we're coming, watch out. What's your expectations? Do you like that from your coach?
Oh, Kenny likes doing that sort of stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's sort of, well, why not? You know, like, why can't we? You know, we've got the players to be able to do it. So I think we're a chance to do that. I mean, if you're not thinking about that, what are you even doing this for, you know? So I think we're a chance to go out there. That's the goal. So why not?
March all the way through to September. Looking down at every other team. Got to go, Port. Got to run it from one end to the other. Need a mark, need a handball, need a goal. Haven't quite got it. Off the ground. Richmond are going to go on their way to the Gabba. The champions are still standing.
Talk about the power. Have a look at some of these results this year, Kane, what they've done with games 13 points or less.
4 wins under 5 points there and 6 under 13 points. So they've been the king of the close game.
Port Adelaide coach Ken Hinkley is trying to take the glass half full approach despite missing 10 first choice players through injury.
Rosie runs in, has a bounce. The silky skilled Rosie flicks it over the top. And a big chance now of a top 2 and a home final.
You know, I've been the favourite and I've been the underdog, and I just know that the results are always challenging. You don't always get them the way you think they're going to happen.
Adelaide is finally being taken seriously as a premiership threat.
With a nail-biting 2-point victory over the Western Bulldogs.
Back home early this morning from its successful trip, ready to begin preparing for a guaranteed minimum 2 finals at the Adelaide Oval.
Finals 2021 are ready to erupt. Port Adelaide at home against the Cats. Port Adelaide are through to a prelim final.
And the obvious question is, why would that happen when everything seemed to be well placed for Port Adelaide to do something special tonight?
It's the underdogs. Undermanned and on the road. They're into their 4th grand final in 97 seasons.
I totally agree. We had what we needed. We had the build-up we wanted, and we came out and got blown off the park very early by the Bulldogs.
Port were completely obliterated. Were they obliterated psychologically?
Oh, disappointed, shattered, embarrassed with the way we played. Really owe our members an apology for what happened on Saturday night. Last year we were gallant. This year we're embarrassing.
Jordan Dawson, in his first showdown, has the game on his boot. There's nothing the coaches can do. It's only one man to cover himself in glory. It's coming back and got there.
Port Adelaide, who now for the first time in the club's history start at 0-5.
Sacking the coach mid-season is a horrible thing to do. They disrespected Nathan Buckley last year.
It might also be the right thing to do though, Caro.
We can't hide from the fact the results haven't been what we want. I get that everyone would be equally as frustrated as I am.
Obviously this year will be the worst finish that we've had in the last 10 years, and something's got to change.
Would an inaccurate headline be, Ken, turn it around or watch out?
I think the whole program. It is not just one individual person, it is the whole program. Turn it around or watch out.
Do you feel any uncertainty that you'll be the Port Adelaide coach next year?
Things turned quickly in football. A fortnight ago, Ken Hinkley and his team were top of the world. Now they've lost 2, and Warren Treadray already suggesting that his position might be untenable.
And I just look for where Ken Hinkley sits, where he's been there 10 years. He's contracted through to the end of the year, and for me it just looks, albeit round 3, it just looks untenable.
If he ain't sacked in the morning, cancel your membership, baby! To win the game for Sydney on the final siren. Lawrence kicked it. Is it there? Oh, did it make the distance? There's going to be no score review. It's over. Ken Hinkley can't believe it. In the most dramatic fashion you've ever seen.
If you're Ken Hinkley, you'd be sitting back at the moment with the biggest grin on your face because of the critics who have now gone silent.
From the Power Army. It's all starting to look very tenable now for the Power.
What I do know is that they've won their last 4 since Warren Treadray came out and said it's untenable. So I'm calling it the Treadray curse. How do you see them?
Well, it's not a curse, it's the reverse.
You saw them
the reverse curse.
Francis was there. Got a second go. Look at the pickup. Gave it to Runty. Snap. It will be 7 straight for Port Adelaide. 7 straight wins for Port Adelaide.
Amongst the sea of Port Adelaide players.
Dan Houston will goal kick after the siren to win the game. The streak to protect. It's a long, long ball. This is the greatest of escapes. The greatest of escapes. And the most magnificent.
What are the elements behind Port's success? Since Warren Treadray made the comment that Ken Hinkley's job is untenable, they've won 12 in a row, so I would have thought now you'd lock him up.
Ken Hinkley has signed a 2-year deal with Port Adelaide. He will coach them next year and he will coach them in 2025.
The qualifying final between Brisbane and Port Adelaide at the Gabba.
We earned the opportunity to play that game. Worked really hard all year to get that opportunity, and then obviously we would have preferred not to use it, but we now get to use it, and we'll be ready to go. And looking forward to the opportunity to play. We played GWS at Adelaide Oval not that long ago, and we had a nice strong win. So we'll give them a reason to be boisterous and loud.
They have big holes in their list and ones that have sort of come in an ugly way on the biggest stage.
I haven't been a Hinkley fan for the last 6 years.
No other club would have kept him this long. I don't care what anybody says. They wouldn't keep him.
Right, tough one for Ken Hinkley. Here's what he had to say, part thereof anyway, post-game.
Start of the year, we set out to win the premiership. We didn't do that, so that's my answer to how I rate the season. We're optimistic and we're hopeful that we've improved enough that it'll put us right at the top of the ladder, and that's where we set out at the start of the year to try and be.
Still support him?
Yeah, absolutely support him.
I've said this a few times. We're not one of the best teams in the comp. We sit below that. Everyone agrees.
The situation the team has put him and the football club in, it's unacceptable. The fans have been sensing it. It feels like
Top of the agenda, that's the nasty fallout in South Australia as the Port Adelaide faithful turn on their long-term coach. A dismal loss at home, and it feels like, again, Ken Hinkley is coaching for his job.
Has Hinkley's era been a successful one at Port Adelaide? I mean, yes or no?
Oh, it's a no, Joe. It's a no.
Exactly.
Port Adelaide's last gasp victory seemed to defy convention, and it defied belief.
Up it goes, clearance so important here. Who's going to get it? Butters will get it. Hoists it high inside the 50. They need a mark. Finlayson's there. D'Ambrosio roved it. Serious pressure on. Amon's tackled. Second ball goes. He brings the house down. And he brings Port Adelaide back from the clouds to claim the most extraordinary win.
Imagine how the ones on the field are feeling. Kenny Hinkley's team have snuck home and stolen it.
Embattled power coach Ken Hinkley has fought back tears in an outpouring of emotion following his side's gutsy 2-point win over St Kilda.
And how are you feeling?
Pretty hard. Been a tough week. Great boys.
Went the double fist. Look out! Bang! Houston with a big bump on Rankin.
Oh, this will be a story.
They are about to throw down in the showdown. A huge bump from Houston. Rankin still laid out on the turn.
Yeah, I just think there's lots of things that we're in a really healthy position. I think we're a mature team. I think we've earned our right to be second on the ladder. We look forward to playing at home in front of a big crowd. We've had great run-in experience. We played a showdown here 2 weeks ago in front of 50,000+ people. We're ready for this type of game, and we're looking forward to this type of game. So I just think we're in a really good spot for what's next.
It was brutal all night. Just didn't have any answers. They've got no plan B. They try the same thing every single week, and when it works, it looks great. When it doesn't, it's been exposed. That's now their 4th finals loss in a row, and some bad pummelings in finals.
We didn't deliver what we needed to deliver. We didn't deliver it in the final that we wanted to deliver it in. But we're going to learn from it, and we're going to work really hard to break through that barrier and give ourselves another chance.
Got it to the left foot of D'Ambrosio. Shot to foot Candy. Left foot inside 50. Osava Radical. Port Adelaide are through to a prelim final. Up off the canvas. What a performance by Ken Hinkley and his boys.
This is fantastic. I didn't have to manufacture my feeling.
That's Port Adelaide. That's what we'll give for the whole season. So that's my expectation. We will always give it what we've got, and you'll be proud about that.